Welcome back to the All-Star Boxing Podcast. Got a funny one with you. So last week I messaged our guest to say, bro, you want to jump on? And then he's like, man, I'm moving next week. So we just made this happen. So again, we've got the banging Benny Kite. So thank you for coming on, bro. Appreciate it. Eh?
Yeah, thanks for having me, mate. Happy to be here.
I know you're probably busy doing your big move and everything. So just for those that don't know, you're moving, recap on what's been going on.
Yeah, so obviously I had my last fight in April. Since retired from the great sport of boxing.
That was versus Ben Horn.
Yes, I fought Ben Horn for the Australian title and won that one, which was great. And me and the team sat down and decided to finish on a high, and now we're looking forward to the next chapter and moving it back up north, back up to Cairns.
Cairns. So you're originally from Cairns?
Yeah, so I grew up in Cairns. I lived there from the time I was about 8 till I was 22 when I moved to Brisbane to fight with Steve and at Fortitude Boxing.
So off air before we were talking about the whole transition of retirement and I'm heading there. You know, we're all gonna go there. It's that last stop of the train ride. How have your emotions been? Like, did you know this was coming before this last fight?
Yeah, no, mate. I mean, I knew it was coming soon. My wife Shannon and I, you know, we said we'd give this a go until we said when I'm 32, me and her will sit down and we'll have a good chat about whether we keep going or not. And I'm 32 now, so it was approaching. So I knew it was coming eventually, but it wasn't. I didn't necessarily think that my last fight was going to be my last fight. But afterwards, sort of sat down and spoke to the boys afterwards about it, and we all knew it was coming soon, and we just decided that it was probably the best opportunity we're going to get to finish on a big high, and with all the other sort of things that were going on in my life and that as well, which were all good things, keeping those rolling and stuff. And
and we spoke about it before, a lot of people don't know when to pull back. They don't know when that last fight will be, because you just said perfectly before this, you could have your last fight at age 40, and then this transition will happen later on down the track. So it's better to just start this now.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I think, retiring's hard. It was hard. Like, I had a very, very hard few months there, not knowing who I was anymore and stuff like that. But
your identity is that boxer.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's like, oh, who am I now? Like, your identity just changes. And but it would have been as hard retiring when I did as it would have been in 10 years' time. It's a sport where you ride the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. There's nothing like it, and I'm just very grateful that I've got the team behind me that I have that made sure I hung them up at the right time.
Yep, and that's the thing. Like the people that corner you and have supported you and your wife since the start till now, they're the ones that have the most important say, because outside looking in, wife especially, saying let's start this next chapter, because your last fight could be, example, 10 years time from now, but the younger you are now to really start that next chapter, when you are 40, at least you're already deep in this next part of life, instead of just starting it later.
And they're the ones that are here after boxing. I got 2 kids as well, my wife, my kids, my family, Steve and Luke, my coaches as well, they're family to me, and they'll all be there. Now that my career's finished, they're still all involved in my life, and they're all going to be there throughout my whole life, and so their opinions, important, because they're sticking around for the long journey, the long ride.
And even though the fight life is finished, you're still a part of boxing. Boxing's still part of your life, and look, I'm heading there too. So when my fight life is finished, I still love boxing. I still have to be in the sport. Somehow that's why I started all of this. So like you said, it's that hard conversation that we're all going to have, that hard conversation. What were you feeling like when you say, oh man, it was really hard to go through? What was hard for you? What was, you didn't want to hang the gloves up?
It was hard. Like, it was like I knew that it was the right decision and it was the right thing to do. It was hard, I guess, kind of, admitting it to myself, like in here, not just up here, that it was the right thing to do. You know, like I said, I love the sport. Hard to go out after a win, you know, as well. And it's like, oh, I won. Why shouldn't I keep
Yeah.
going? You know, but
It's the same
yeah.
reason why you see a lot of around the world, Australia especially, retired fighters, and then 10 years later they'll make a comeback for a one-off fight.
Yes.
But it's like, we love the sport, yes, but do you really need to, at the age of 40, 45 plus, do you really need to strap up and do it again?
Yeah.
Because that can come from a place of like missing, or, you're good. We all don't want to say that we're all getting older, but we are. And you see those people wanting to come out to have one more hit out, but that one more hit out always can be the next one, and it just never ends.
Yeah.
So it is that decision, and you've made the right decision, because now you get to start the next part of life. And what does that look like? Could be fatherhood now, could be that business life now, and you're taking all the skill sets and experience from your fight life into this next chapter, and you're bringing all that richness into it. So now with your voice, with your experience in that business world, it's just the same thing, just a different form.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, one thing you said about people, making comebacks and stuff and not really putting a close on the chapters. One of the first conversations I ever had with Steve when I first came down to Brisbane was he said it to me. He said, you got to look at everything like every part of your life like it's a chapter. And he said, boxing's a chapter. We're going to run at it, and you're going to put everything into it. But when that chapter closes, it's closed, and you're on the next chapter now. And that's something that stuck with me throughout my career, and there'll be no comebacks from me.
Yeah. Well, look, like when you announce that retirement, of course, again, I keep repeating this, we're gonna get there, but it was a day of mourning. It is that chapter close. It is that finish. And we did a lot of sparring back in the day. So anyway, before I go into that topic, I retired from boxing too. Like, I kind of left the sport. I had 4 years off, and then I too, when I moved to Thailand, and I know what I was doing, identity was that fighter, so I understand how that feels. But I never thought I was going to come back, and I did come back to the sport. So I got to really approach this as my second life. And as now closing too, this is like if you break the boxing career up into threes, amateur, pro, then I took time off, and then this is that last third.
Yeah.
So that's what all this is about, and I love the sport. But I too was lost. When I went to Thailand, I was here, there, everywhere. We had to sit with myself, and then one day, boom, I was like, nah, I have to really come back and just finish it, because I didn't close it.
Yeah.
I didn't finish my pro career, because I finished like age 26 at the time.
Yeah.
I was 26, came back age 30.
Yeah.
So I closed it prematurely, and I was just a bit like, I didn't like where my career went back then. I was with the wrong people, and all of it, life experience, all the above. But it's really got me to where I'm at now, with the team that I have now here at All Star. And I got to really attack my second pro life how I wanted to go out with it. So now I get to really feel satisfied doing this properly, with the right team, with the right decisions, because when I do close that chapter, then I can feel satisfied, and that I've done this. We've all had losses. Like, I wish I could be like the next Floyd Mayweather, as we all have those dreams as you're an athlete in any form. But we even sparred in the early days. So you've been around. You've been one of those fighters in Brisbane where you were a part of the mix. That name was there.
Yeah.
It was ringing a bell, and now we have to say goodbye to just that identity. So it's been good doing rounds with you. We always touch shoulders in the boxing world. So, when I saw that, and I reached out to you last week, I was like, cool, we have to really do this.
Yeah.
So nothing but celebrations. As much as the closure, it's celebrations too.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, it's cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, mate. It's good to move on to new exciting things and next chapters, and I'm just very, very thankful, that I've got, that I've had the career that I've had, and have had the people around me that I've had, and the memories that'll always be.
How did you get into boxing?
Mate, I started boxing when I was about 13 or 14. I did karate when I was really, really young. And the karate gym that I was at closed down. This was all in Cairns. And I went to find another karate gym at the PCYC in Cairns, and I met a boxing coach. the boxing coach there, and he
How old were you at the time?
I would have been 13, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
And he told me to come in and give it a go. And so I went back the next week to give it a go, and I was about 5 minutes late for the first class, and he decided to make an example out of me. So he was about a 7-year-old man. He was about 4 foot tall. And he threw me in the ring with him, and he just had at me, hey, just belted me. And I was like, oh, I'm coming back. I'm gonna get you one day,
That's funny.
and then after that, I guess I became really. I didn't have big aspirations to fight. I don't think when I started. I just enjoyed the training. I loved the training, and then I guess I kind of just fell into fighting. I think I had my first fight at 14 or 15. But because it was more about the training for me, the boxing thing, it was always more of a hobby. And that when I was growing up, and then I had maybe 20 or so amateur fights throughout a period of time where guys down here and overseas and stuff would have had 100. Then when I was 21, my now wife and I went overseas, and I thought that's probably it for like boxing now. I can't see myself ever having another fight. I'm going on holidays. I'm going backpacking. Like I'm not going to do this anymore. But as soon as I landed, our first stop was in New York, and I was like, oh, I got to find a boxing gym.
Yeah,
and then every kind of stop we made, every city, every country we went to, I just found a boxing gym and just did a bit of training. And then I kind of saw like, I don't feel that far away from like where these guys are, that these guys in the gym that are like, they're top guys, and they're like slugging their asses off here, and I'm just away like on holidays, and I don't feel that far away from them. And I kind of realized I hadn't ever really like applied myself to it. And then when we got back the following year, I was like, I think I really want to have a crack at this and actually apply myself and see what happens.
Yeah, nice.
And so then that was in 2022 when I got back to Australia and decided to move down to Brisbane with Luke and Steve and go from there.
Yeah,
So,
wow. So I've just got your box rec up. So 2014 was your pro debut.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's almost 10 years, 8 years. So, and then I've almost known you for that length of time.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is when we sparred back in the day.
I think we both had our pro debuts around the same time, did we?
Yeah.
I think.
So, just going through some of the names that you fought. Mark Ramirez, Luke Travers, and then you fought in India.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Mate, I think Steve just got a call up one day from someone who knew someone. And
All the promoters are connected.
Yeah, like how they all are, and they just they said that they had a fight for us for a WBC Asia belt over in India, and if we wanted to do it, and I was pretty keen on going overseas and
How was that experience?
So, mate, it was cool.
New Delhi.
India's cool. Like anyone who's trying to do anything over there just gets treated like a rock star. Like it's crazy. We were literally getting not mugged, but getting like dragged around.
Just from strangers.
Yeah, everyone they just want to touch you. Like
Yeah.
It was literally like being at a rock concert. It took us like an hour to get from the dressing room on the fight night back to the change room because they're just like, and it's like kids getting like trampled and stuff.
So when I lived in Thailand, I did a movie in India, Bollywood film.
Yes.
I knew all the expats and I was part of the whole fight crew.
Yep.
So we got a call up saying, there's a 10-day filming session in Hyderabad where the film center is. We were just fighters and stuff.
Yeah.
And we were on a bus, and then the bus broke down. The tire popped, so then the bus had to undo it, whatever. We all got off the bus, and everyone just stared around. Stared at like we're just foreigners.
Yeah.
White dudes, whatever. They're just like, wow. But crazy, almost like a wild, wild west.
Yeah.
India. So for you to really experience that, how long were you there?
About 2 weeks. Yeah, we went down. We went down about 10 days before the fight, I think, and then stayed a couple of days after. And
really cool stadium? Like really
Yeah,
cool?
yeah, it was. It was a big stadium.
Wow.
I think it was called Taukatora Stadium or something like that.
Yep.
It was quite big. And there was crammed people in there. It was pretty cool.
Wow. Hot there.
Yeah, pretty warm. I didn't get to do a lot of stuff either because obviously in camp, and I was
It's a
so worried
business
about
trip,
getting
you know?
sick.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yep.
I took about 30 tins of tuna on the plane with me because that's
about
all I was
yourself?
going to eat. But then afterwards, I'm glad we had a couple of days afterwards. I could actually go and have a look around and try some food and stuff like that, which I didn't get sick. So
Yeah, nice. And boxing is all about experiences, man. So for you to really get these overseas trips and these fights, win or loss or whatever,
Yeah.
it really is a notch in the belt for your life experience.
Yeah,
And
that's
just,
it. It's all about having a journey that you can walk away from and be
Yeah.
like, oh wow, I did that, and not just sitting home twiddling my thumbs.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like whether you have one boxing fight or 100 boxing fights, the fact that you're in there doing it, that's already you going past all your fears and just all the unknowns and all
Yeah,
of that.
absolutely.
So I know you said before you didn't really have a big amateur background, but the fact that you really just applied yourself in that area, a lot of people cannot do that. Like they're really limited by their own fears, and we all have our different fears in different ways.
Yeah.
But to really challenge yourself and push yourself and just live that professional boxing life, which you
Yeah.
did, not a lot of people can do that.
Yeah, no, again, I'm super grateful to like my team and all the sponsors and everything that I had on board that allowed me to live a life of a professional fighter,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
a lot of people don't get the opportunity that would like it.
Just off the bat, like what are some of your highlights in your career?
Oh, mate, I think my favorite fight would probably be when I fought Jamie Hilt.
Okay.
That was maybe 4
Yeah,
or 5 years
2018,
ago or
yeah.
something. Yeah, that was a ripper. It was the biggest war I've ever been in my life,
Wow.
and the people that were there that saw it, they still talk about it all the
Nice.
time. It was one of those fights that really make your career, and
Nice.
it's something that I'll have with me for life. And again, to come away with the win was great as well. I got cut really bad in the first round in that one, and I remember in the 8th round, I think, I dropped him twice already, and in the 8th round, the ref he wanted to stop the fight right from the first round when the thing was cut, but the doctor said it was okay. And the 8th round, he was saying like, mate, I think you're gonna win. Like, can you just just let me stop the fight, kind of thing? And I was going, not like this.
Yeah,
I don't want to win like this.
Wow.
And then in the 9th round, Jamie caught me with the shot and he rocked me my own all jelly legged, and I was like,
Wow.
oh no.
Wow.
But I managed to stay on my feet and box the last round out and got the win in the end. So that was good. Definitely my favorite fight. Mate, I think the Tyson Best fight was a good one as well. I won the Australian title there. It was after my hand surgery. Stuck at home. I mean, obviously he was too, but everyone's stuck at home in COVID, and I was quite proud that not just me but my whole team sort of stayed the course and did what we could when we could, and was
Hard
able to
times
come
for all
away
of us,
with that
really. We
victory.
didn't know what was going on.
Yeah,
and just-
absolutely.
we live in that entertainment industry,
Yeah,
and everything was shut and everything.
yeah.
It was like, what's going on?
What are we doing? Yeah, mate. I remember when we that they shut the gyms down, and Steve was just like, Ben, just take as much stuff as you want home,
Wow,
and just
wow.
take it home, and you can just train at home. And so I just packed like half a gym up and just see ya.
Where was that fight? Eden's Hill.
Yeah, that was at Eden's Hill, which is a good venue as well. And again, I got dropped in the first round of that fight. It was
Wow.
the only time I've ever touched the canvas.
Wow.
And
And that's a moment where you're like, who are you?
yeah, I was
Who
like,
are
oh
you?
shit, like I gotta bite down on my mouth guard and go here. So that was good. I
That
feel
was
like
10 round fight.
yeah,
So yeah, to get dropped in the first, Kite down in round 1.
yeah.
To get dropped in the first round, how were you standing up? Like,
Mate, I was
shaky
fine.
still?
To be fair, like I didn't actually hit, like my gloves touched the canvas.
was-
I
okay,
lost
yeah.
my legs, my gloves touched the canvas, but I wasn't laying down or anything. I was fine, like straight away. I was all
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Back into it. It didn't affect you mentally or nah, it's all
Nah,
good, just carry
I
on.
don't think so. No,
Yep.
I was just like, oh, all right.
I've been dropped too, and it's that stuff where it's like, it hits my ego.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like,
it definitely did that.
you
I
know?
wasn't worried about it happening again, but I was like, oh, that's not what I planned. Like,
Yep.
yeah,
And this thing that everyone's watching these, you got all these eyes on you. You're like, yeah, no, I'm cool. Back into it.
yeah.
Crazy. So,
Yeah.
yeah. What else? What's another good top fight of yours?
Mate, I'd say straight after that one, I fought Danny Kennedy, which I feel like was probably one of my best performances.
Yep.
I felt the most at home I've ever felt in the ring in that fight, and I stopped him in the last round, which was cool as well. And that
Nice,
was
yeah.
for an IBF belt and also defending my Australian title, so that was mad.
Nice.
Ben Sava was another good one to get on. You know, he was very highly regarded, and he still is. You know, he was a great fighter, and he's a great coach now. And getting a victory over him was good. But mate, the big highlights of my career would definitely be like, you know, the times outside the fights, spending times with, you know, Luke and Steve, and going on trips with the boys, and
Nice.
you know, getting dinner and getting brekkie and just hanging out.
Yeah, cool. And that's the thing, this is such a tiring, gruesome sport, physically on the body,
Yeah.
you know, and mentally, and we take things home, and our wives and children feel what we go through. This is such a roller coaster of a career to choose, you know. But to really seek and be a part of the good things, the good experiences, what comes out of it, that's what makes all of it so much worth it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, we all have that dream and vision of being a world champion. We all hold that, and that's what makes it so competitive. It's a pyramid to try and really reach the top.
Yeah.
A lot of us make it, a lot of us don't make it.
Yeah.
And it's a journey, but we have to really somewhat enjoy this journey.
Yeah.
Find the best parts of it too.
Yes. There's all the things that you know, boxing allows you to do outside of boxing as well. Like, you know, the kind of person being a fighter makes you, and stuff. You know, this has been the best 10 years of my life, and it's not because of the fights, it's because of everything that's happened outside of it, you know, which boxing has allowed me to do. You know, I married my wife. I had 2 kids. I bought a house in the last 10 years. You know, it's been the most eventful and incredible 10 years of my life so far. So,
and you're still so young, 32. So I could say you could keep fighting until age 36 or whatever, but to really start this next chapter, and now you know you've got like a head start.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think, mate, to be honest, like, you know, it's been 6 months retired now, and everything just seems so much easier now because I've done that, and everything that's laying ahead of me, like, it's like, well, I can do that because I've done that, and it's way easier.
Yeah, wow.
I'm so much more just relaxed now, and but in, like, you know, on the go relaxed, like, and everything just seems to fall into place so much easier, and
nice.
because I've got more, I guess, to give other things, and
Yep. More time, more energy. So anyway, I went through your Instagram.
Oh, yes, sweet.
So go through some of these photos. There's your beautiful family there.
Yes.
So Shannon, and what are your boys' names? They're not twins, are they?
No, they're not. So Harper's the one I'm holding. He's 4, and Brooklyn's 2.5.
2.5.
They're little rat bags. They're best mates, and it's you know, they're full on boys. But I wouldn't have it any other way.
High energy in the house.
Oh, they're nuts. Yeah, absolutely nuts, mate. They literally just fight and wrestle and run away and jump and break things all day.
At least you're fit enough to really kind of handle that.
Yeah, and it's got to stay that way too. You know, I'm still training. I'm still training like twice a day, and you know, everyone's like, "Oh, what are you doing? Like, you're training just as hard or whatever." And it's like, "Oh man, I still got to beat my kids at everything when I'm 50." Hey, like, because if they're gonna beat me in their 20s, they need to be. You know, it's because they're really good. It's not because Dad's losing it.
And I think, like, the interesting thing an athlete having children, and then the children growing up in that kind of athlete world, a lot of people would ask you, man, would you let your kids going to fight? That's not the whole topic. But whether they fight or don't fight, they're growing up in a sporty type of way.
Yeah.
And that's such a, like the motorsports, whether it's martial arts or any form of sport, from a young age onwards, their body's getting developed.
Makes them active. Yeah.
Yeah, they're active.
Absolutely.
You know, their balance, all of it, just from a young age onwards. And then by the time they're kids, and when they're like, I started my amateur career late. I think my first fight was 17. But I know when I do have kids and have that sporty life, and when they reach an earlier age, whether they fight or not fight, I just want them to be so much more ahead of me.
Yeah,
at that age.
Yeah,
in life, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, next question on the family. When you turned pro before you had the kids?
Yeah.
And then having the boys, and then still being a pro, was that a juggle?
Mate, so Harper was born 3 weeks before I fought Jamie Hill.
Yeah, wow. Okay, wow.
And it was nuts.
No sleep type of thing?
Yeah, no, like Shannon's an angel, and she's incredible, and did everything. But yeah, it's a big adjustment. But I found having kids the biggest motivation.
Nice.
Ever. Like having Harper 3 weeks before that fight, there's no way I was losing that fight, you know. And
yeah, wow. Was that just an instant, like?
Yeah, I don't know why,
changed.
But I've just never been so motivated to do anything or make things happen. Before having kids, and as soon as they were there, it was just like, oh, we gotta go. Now they're my motivation to stop, you know?
Yeah.
Because now I can see how much more I can give them out of fighting and away from fighting. They're my motivation to be in it with them instead now.
Yeah, nice. I like that family photo too.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Where was this? Where was this photo
taken? That's New Farm Park.
Oh, okay.
So there's a picture before Brooklyn was born. There's a picture of just me and Harper in that tree.
Oh.
Yeah, and then after Brooklyn sort of got big enough to start climbing up there, so we went and got one with the three of us as well.
Yeah, nice. Oh, that's pretty cool. Family photo. Oh, just, you know, take your son to work.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, take your son to work day. He was showing Luke that he's been doing it wrong. They're going like this.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow. You and Connor Wallace.
Yeah, mate. Connor's he's a good boy.
Fortitude, the stable there, like, and again, you were pro for 8 years, and you would have had Todd Kidd in the early days, and now you've got like Connor Wallace and Eric Sokolov. So you would have had such a strong stable that really supported you as well. And
the talent coming through there, and that's you know, and the feel and the energy that gym brings is incredible. You know, I think that, you know, people always talk about me and that in regards to being like a workhorse and the guy that just trained really hard, trained harder than everyone, and that's how I found success. But I wasn't like that before Fortitude. It was coming to Fortitude and being around Luke and Steve that made me go like, oh, fuck, I need to work harder than everyone else here, because I want this and I want this to do this here, you know?
Nice. Nah, that's cool, man. And the right people to do it around. You know?
Absolutely.
Did you do rounds with Dara Foley?
Yeah, I did. I did rounds with Dara in the lead up to fighting Andrew Hunt. And then he and I were nearly going to fight.
I saw
after that. He had shoulder surgery, so it didn't end up happening. But we had some great rounds, and I know you fought him.
Yeah.
We had some great rounds, and he jumped on board to help me out for rounds, so it was good.
Nice. And his character, and that would have been a good fight between you two, because he's entertainment.
Yeah.
You know, he's just got that style that's just like, you don't know what's going to come. He's a warrior.
Yeah.
So you two would have brought the best out of each other.
Yeah, I think it would have been a great fight.
I would have loved to watch that spar, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. There was a few. We did a couple of trips down, and they were good rounds.
Yeah, nice. You and Stevie Sparks.
Yeah.
Have you done a lot of rounds with them?
Mate, me and Stevie probably would have done, I don't know, close to 1,000 rounds together. Nice. I reckon over the years. I think he was probably my first away sparring partner, and I'm pretty sure I was his as well, away from the gym, you know. And yeah, it's been really cool to watch both mine and his careers develop together, and obviously he's still going, you know, but and he's doing amazing, which is fantastic.
yep.
But yeah, we've become pretty good buddies in that as well.
Well, look, like, because I'm watching him do amazing things too. But we've sparred a couple times, but you've done so many rounds. You've contributed to that. You know, like you've been a big help to his success.
Yeah.
So he needs people like yourself to really.
I mean, he was a great help to mine as well. But
Yeah, nice. Yeah, that would have been good sparring too.
yeah, great rounds. Always good
That
fun.
was a cool photo, you and Eric. What night was this?
So that was after my last fight. So that was Eric won the Australian title. He beat Liam.
Paro.
Liam
No. Pope.
Yeah.
Pope. Wrong P.
Yeah, Liam Pope on the same night, and then that's the same night that I beat Benny Horn.
Yeah, wow. Boom. And I had to put that photo in there.
Yeah, it's a ripper, isn't it?
So is that
that's Danny Kennedy. Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, mate, it was a good fight. He's a workhorse as well. You know, he's fit, and he just before that he'd beat Adam Kalau, who's a guy who I'd just beat in Melbourne as well, and then he beat him too. He was just coming off a big fight with Jack Brubaker as well, and he came to bring it, but I just felt really, really settled that night, and I think I caught him with I know I caught him with a really good shot in the first round, and I just from that whole round I was like, I know I've got him, but I've just got to be patient. It's going to come. And then by probably round 7, I was like, I don't know it's going to come. But then round 10, I dropped him, I think, in round 9. And then he came out for round 10, and the bell went, and I just went dunk, dunk, dunk.
Wow.
and that was it. So, yeah.
Like you said.
Great fight. Good boy as well. And
he's been around too.
Yeah. He's had plenty of experience and plenty of fights and plenty of big fights. He fought overseas for this first part of his career, I think, because he's from England. He's an English boy. I'm pretty sure.
Yep. And then I had to put this one in too. It was a nice photo.
Oh yeah.
The best rewards are found at the end of the steepest climbs.
Yeah.
So had to put that in there because you've lived that life, man.
Yeah, man, it's been a big journey, and anyone who's followed my career knows that it didn't start out going very far very fast. I lost my first 2 pro fights in a row, and then had a win and a draw, I think, and then another win or a loss, or I don't know, but it wasn't going anywhere very quickly. But me and the team, we all knuckled down together, and we said we were going to make this happen, and we did.
Yeah, nice. Nah, cool, man. It's been great having the old sparring, and knowing you and the team, and as small of a country we are, we have to really stick together and work with each other.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That kind of stuff. So it's been cool, like riding this journey with you.
Yeah, thank you.
We're all on that same train.
That's it, man. It's been cool. Yeah, like having you and all the other boys and stuff in and around the gym, being part of it, and like you said, we're all here to support each other at the end of the day. And even your opponents, you obviously want to win on the night, but after that, you only want the best for them. And
we all go home to our families.
Yeah, that's it.
That's that. Is there anyone you want to thank,
mates? I'd obviously thanking for my career. I want to thank my my team, Steve and Luke, that were there right from the start. My beautiful wife, Shannon, my kids. All my incredible sponsors that helped out with the team, my teammates, everyone who's been around along the journey. There's been so many people, so many names, and I can't thank anyone enough for this experience that will be. This is the experience that made me who I am, and it's made my life what it is, and I'm very, very grateful for it.
Awesome, bro. I got a clap for that. Bro.
Thank you.
Brother, thank you for coming on, Appreciate it, bro. Awesome, bro. Awesome.
Wow.